Chapter 110 Fox. Han Li had already read over the contents of this letter several times. The letter was not at all complex, it merely sent word that Han Li was Dr. Mo's last disciple and that Lady Yang could place her complete trust in him. In addition, he could be used to settle any troublesome disputes the Mo estate may currently have. As long as Han Li could preserve the Mo estate's safety, Lady Yan was to choose one of Dr. Mo's 3 daughters as Han Li's bride. The letter also laid clear instructions that the dowry was to include the precious warm Yang jade. It even went as far as to say that Dr. Mo was currently occupied with an important matter and could not return and reunite with his wives. This way, Lady Yan and his other wives wouldn't have to worry about him. Although Han Li could not find anything unfavorable towards him in the letter, he was certain that the letter contained a few of Dr. Mo's tricks. Han Li knew that it was impossible for the outer writing to be so simple. However, he could not find the method to reveal the hidden message. In addition, he wished to bring this letter to the Mo estate as soon as possible. Only after gathering his courage did he deliver this letter to Lady Yan, but he was especially careful to monitor Lady Yan's each and every move at this moment. He truly wished that this 4th wife wouldn't make something out from the letter and then immediately turn hostile, demanding his arrest in order to avenge her late husband. Fortunately, the terrible scenario that Han Li imagined did not occur. After Lady Yan finished reading the letter, she simply tensely wrinkled her brow. Her face then wore an expression of great worry as she seemed to have made some difficult decisions. "Huaner, go call your 2nd mother and 3rd mother, even your 5th mother. Tell them there is news of Lord Husband." Lady Yan turned her head and instructed Mo Kaiwan with a resolute tone. "Understood, mother. I'll go." Mo Kaiwan knew this matter was serious, so she left obediently. However, just before she left the room, she pursed her lips and smiled towards Han Li. It seemed she was rather interested in this fellow. "You are called Han Li?" Lady Yan raised her head, revealing a graceful and elegant expression. "That's right, 4th Martial Mother." Han Li sincerely replied. "Could you tell me how Lord Husband accepted you as a disciple?" Lady Yan asked with a smile. "I will do as you ask." Han Li hesitated for a moment, but soon after, he felt that there was nothing to hide about the events that led to his acceptance as a disciple. Using a few select memories, he slowly told Lady Yan a summary of what had happened. 8 years ago, because Teacher Mo's old injury had yet to heal, he lived in seclusion at the Jing Province's 7 mystery sects Celestial, Rainbow Mountains. There, I had met him for the first time upon entering the mountain. Within Han Li's version of the course of events, 3/7 of it was false. The information that he could not divulge to Lady Yan was either completely revised or lightly skipped over. Even like this, however, the story had greatly captured Lady Yan's attention and interest. Han Li recounted the course of events with 3/7 being false. The information he could not divulge to Lady Yan were completely adapted or lightly skipped over. However, even like this, the story had greatly captured the attention and interest of Lady Yan. And that's how I became his disciple. Around 3 months ago, Teacher Mo was preoccupied with an important matter and was unable to spare any time to visit his family. However, he feared that he had left the Mo estate for far too long and that there would be enemies creating trouble for his wives, so he told me to leave the mountain first, come to the Mo estate to find the Teacher Mo's wives and wait for his wives' orders. What's so important that could prevent my Lord Husband from arriving home first? After Lady Yan had Han Li's adapted version of the course of events that led to his discipleship, she sighed before faintly asking this question with a trace of grief. "Who is returning home?" "Dr. Mo has already been dead for soon to be 2 years, the corpse I buried underneath a tree is nothing but bones now." As Han Li heard this, he somewhat laughed to himself. However, with a face of humility, he replied, "What matters? Teacher Mo did not tell me. However, I am certain that it is an absolutely important matter." Han Li said somewhat ambiguously. "Humph. Did your master command you to keep it a secret from us?" Lady Yan asked with an enigmatic smile. However, The tone in her words was somewhat discontent. "It is by no means like that," Han Li quickly said. He secretly bitterly smiled to himself. This Lady Yan was truly mistrustful. With an unresigned appearance, Lady Yan opened her mouth to ask a few more questions. At this moment, however, the sound of chaotic footsteps could be heard outside the room. Before the owners of the feet entered the room, a lovely and charming voice spoke. "Fourth sister, I hear there is news of Lord Husband. Is this true? That devil left us 10 years ago, does he want us sisters to become grass widows?" Han Li had been distracted with this sweet voice, but soon after realizing what was said, he became startled. This great aunt is far too bold. Han Li thought, amazed. "Third sister, pay more attention to your words. There is still another person in this room," a slightly rougher woman's voice said in an angry fashion. "I know this already. However, I heard that person delivering the news is Lord Husband's close disciple. It is impossible to keep up pretenses. What do you say, fifth sister?" The charming voice had said, slightly happily. "Impossible. Since fourth sister has called us to come, this man should at the very least be 70 to 80% trustworthy." An ice-cold voice said. "That's right. Fourth sister's judgment is truly admirable," the sweet, charming voice said, giggling. It was unknown whether this was said ironically or in genuine praise for Lady Yan. After Han Li heard these words, he stole a glance at Lady Yan, who was pressing her hand against her head with a helpless expression on her face. It seemed that the owner of that lovely voice often gave her headaches. The room door finally opened, and several beautiful women entered in succession. Mo Kaiwan followed, entering last. However, she pouted with her small red mouth, appearing somewhat melancholic. The frontmost woman was approximately 31 to 32 years old. She was tall, beautiful and composed with delicate features, and there was a scholarly air about her. She must have been talented since a very young age. Han Li inwardly nodded his head and brought his gaze to the young woman next to her. This one appeared 23 to 24 years old. The moment Han Li saw this woman's appearance, he felt his brains buzz. For an instant, he thought he had seen a lost goddess. His entire person had sunk into her gorgeous beauty and was unable to free himself. This woman's tender, beautiful figure was unexpectedly somehow even more gorgeous than Mo Yuju, whom he had seen during the day. In addition, the woman's incomparable grace was something Mo Yuju couldn't possibly have. If one were to say there were truly fox spirits on this earth, Han Li would unconditionally be convinced, as this woman was a completed transformation. Han Li was currently swooningly dizzy. Without Han Li knowing why, a thread of cold chi from his dantian suddenly escaped and flowed along his meridians toward the center of his head. After it completed one circulation, Han Li suddenly cleared his head. After recovering his mind, Han Li was startled and didn't dare to look at this woman again. He hastily avoided her gaze. This young woman could cause the death of an entire country. With the mere look, she can turn a man's soul and spirit upside down. Does she not know that her own exceptional appearance possesses demonic power? Or is this some sort of trained seduction technique? Han Li speculated while being overwhelmed with shock. The young woman saw Han Li look at her, but apart from being somewhat infatuated, he soon regained his mind. Her eyes could not help but flash a look of surprise.